I don't think guys get told this very much. My boyfriend, my dad, my brother, they are all way too hard on themselves in every aspect of life, and I want to spread the word that you guys deserve more credit. Society has been criticizing everyone lately. We're all just trying to make something in life have purpose. In any case, I'm here to say, you are valuable. You are special. You have meaning. I'm grateful this became popular. I've enjoyed reading your comments and gaining insight from you all. To those who have been told recently, that's amazing. Keep those positive people in your life. To those who said never, I hope that even in light of this truth, you still find yourself valuable and find someone who sees your worth. To those who made remarks about special education, whether it's true or not, you're special too, and I hope you believe it in a positive way. To those who mention that all of us being special makes no one special, consider this. The odds of each person being here are astronomical. You made it to the egg, your parents' odds of being here are astronomical, and so on. So yes, we are all here, but we were the fastest of so many others. And that's pretty special. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Story 1. I am the middle older of 4 boys in my family. The youngest is 18 and just starting out. The rest of us are 23, 25, and 27. My dad, after a few drinks, recently told me he respected me more than the other 2. It made me happy. Story 2. I think it works way better in person where our brains can recognize the kindness in someone else's face and words, but thank you very much all the same. You are too. Story 3. I think it was a few days ago. A woman at work called me sunshine after I got back from a day off. I didn't get it right away, as after she said it, I looked outside and said, "Yep, the sun came back out." She said something along the lines of, "And you look outside? No, you're back." So yeah, it made me feel really good for the rest of the day. Story 4. On Friday, a 7th grader told me I was an awesome substitute as she was leaving class. That really meant a lot. I left a stable job to change careers and become a teacher and have been struggling a bit with the transition. Hearing confirmation from a student that I actually am good at what I do meant the world. Story 5. Just this weekend, while cuddling with my girlfriend, she said I am special to her. I almost cried. Before that, my mother, 4 years and 2 months ago, exactly tomorrow, before she was killed by a drunk driver on our way home from my sister's birthday party, said that I am special. Story 6. This makes me so sad. I can't believe this. I don't want to believe this. For all the women reading this, here are a few suggestions that are simple, not invasive, non-threatening, and will make a positive impact on any person you care about. I appreciate you. I believe in you. You are awesome. Thanks, sweetness. Shame on every woman who calls anyone special in a negative way and doesn't reinforce positive identity regardless of gender. I was talking to my boss about new software being implemented and the timeline until we went live, and I said, "I believe in you," just as an affirmation that I agreed with what he was suggesting. He stared at me for a solid second before he said thank you in a very confused way. I don't think anyone had ever told him that before. It didn't click until just now how much of an impact that statement might have made on him. This isn't asking much. You aren't risking anything. These simple statements are not a commitment or a confession of love. There isn't much chance someone will take it the wrong way. If they do, use caution. I use these and similar phrases daily with my son, boyfriend, daughters, coworkers, checkout clerks, servers, school staff, everyone. It doesn't hurt to be kind, and it's the only way some of us can make the world a better place. Story 7. Never in my life have most people, especially family, only called me when there is a need for physical labor or when something happens. My wife only talks about the things I don't do, never the things I did. My 3-year-old daughter calls me her greatest hero, so I have that going for me. Story 8. This hit me hard. My ex was the first person that understood I needed words of affirmation and then delivered. Felt so good to hear them from her. It didn't feel like some cheesy stuff. Felt real. But thank you for saying it now. I needed that. Story 9. Personally, I would say my parents were more supportive than most, so I get told that pretty often when I see them. However, I agree with you that men need to value themselves more as a whole. In my opinion, there are two social factors that make a lot of men not value themselves as much. The first is the men are expendable attitude that is often socialized into men from a time when wars were more common and a need to defend your family from physical threats was much more prevalent. Thus, society has an interest in teaching men not to value themselves. The second factor is that society and male culture still place a heavy emphasis on equating a man's worth with how many times he can have sex with women. Therefore, if men are simply going through unlucky streaks, they can start to question their self-worth. In conclusion, I would say that as a society, in order to improve men's mental health, we should modify these two overarching ideals for men. Story 10. After I worked hard at a passion I used to love for 3 years, I let self-doubt consume me. Then, in an interview, I was told how talented I was and about the potential I had. I felt that seed of passion take root and blossom again. It's a beautiful life. Story 11. It actually wasn't that long ago. My best friend will compliment me more than often enough. She's a real sweetheart, and it's awesome to have someone like that in your life. Story 12. Society has been awfully judgmental as of late. It feels like being a white male is nearly considered evil. How about we not judge people in general for choices they didn't have, such as color, sex, sexuality, and whatever else? Who knows, given enough time, we all give off enough reason to judge a bad personality. Story 13, female here. Some of the comments on this thread made me laugh out loud, and some broke my heart. I follow this group largely to get to know how your minds work a bit better, even though I've been married to one for several years. I mostly laugh. A lot of you have wicked, sharp senses of humor, and I appreciate a lot of your candidness and speaking from the heart. All women should join this group just so they can dispel a lot of stereotypes we tend to have about men. Being a woman isn't a walk in the park, but I take it over your challenges, in particular these days. So much is expected of you by society and your partners, much of it contradictory. Be an emotionally strong man, but be sensitive and vulnerable. Be a gentleman. I can get the door myself, thank you very much. Why can't you read my mind? Work hard and provide. But don't work too late. You can't win sometimes. Those aren't my expectations. Just a few of many examples of how we girls can make things more challenging for the good guys out there. Women reading this, please don't bash me. Being a woman has its challenges and contradictory expectations as well. This is a men's group. Just want to show them some love, because men can be awesome. Story 14. This is something parents try to reinforce with their children early on to help develop a sense of self-esteem and worth. I'm middle-aged now and don't need to be reinforced in this way, but there is a code out there if you are listening. I love you is one. I need you is another. I don't know what I would do without you is another. You make me feel happy or good is another. The word you is the operative suggesting special. Story 15. So my girlfriend cleared the Uttar Pradesh Provincial Civil Services exam last week, and I had started my preparation a while back. I asked her if I could do it too. She replied, "You can do anything, dear." It was awesome. Story 16. Never laugh out loud, and I'm not kidding. I've had girls telling me they love me, which is normal in a relationship, but no one has ever told me that or ever will, in my opinion. I don't get genuine compliments. It's always about "you're bigger" because of the gym. Don't get me wrong, I really love those compliments, but sometimes something more than that would be really great. Story 17. Not too long ago, my girl unexpectedly called me something even better than that. She called me her hero, and that hit me hard like a huge boulder. I could not have felt better when she told me that. So good, I actually wept. Yes, it's true, men are often left behind on the emotional side of things, maybe because we're not supposed to be emotional and always be the strong one in the relationships. Some women forget about that, about being uplifting or caring in that way with the men in their lives. It's a shame. Story 18. I have only been told that once by someone outside my family. It was the best day of my life. I'm about to turn 22, so hopefully there is time for me to impact more people's lives to hear it again. Story 19. Happy Maniac 118 is the real hero here. You are the kind of person we need in this world. Thank you for all your words of encouragement. Edit. My spelling sucks. Story 20. Not in those words, but a couple of years ago, there was a woman who said she really appreciated me and stuff like that. Felt really good to have someone actively wanting me around. At some point, it stopped, which I wasn't too pleased about, but it helped me narrow down what I wanted in life. Story 21. Well, going towards the real meaning of this post, you guys are amazing and should be told more often. No matter if you are killing it every day or even just trying to kill it every day, I am proud of you. Keep going. Story 22. This sounds like a variation of the often repeated recurring, hopefully now forbidden, thread complaining about men not getting compliments. The fact is, most of us aren't special, just average, and we go through life pretty well. Story 23. Probably a few years back when I got into a new workplace and picked it up really fast. But the person probably didn't want to give me too much praise because right after, he clarified it's nothing amazing. However, it was nice for the workload. Story 24. Today's my birthday. All of my family members either forgot and haven't even sent a text saying anything, or they just don't care. For all the issues that women write about how they are the supposed oppressed gender, they sure have forgotten the other half of this species. That is why I am not a feminist and don't trust anything that comes out of those gender studies. I read authors like Naomi Wolf writing about how difficult it is to go through life as a woman, claiming that somehow women are being held down by men or the patriarchy. There just aren't any resources out there for men to deal with their struggles in life. Years ago, I joined a group near where I live associated with Dr. Glover, the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy. My God, it was sad talking to so many lonely, lost, desperate men who were destroyed by women in their lives. We once spent an entire session getting into a van and joining together to remove the recently bought gun by one of our group members because he said that he bought it just in case it reached one of those nights when the pain and loneliness become unbearable. Story 25. When my grandpa got too old. It's not a good thing to raise a kid like that, to say they're special. It leads to complexes that I've struggled with. It does light an ambition in one's soul, but it invites pain when ambition's curse is forever fleeting. Just say to your kid someday, if you have one, play to your strengths rather than saying they're a Superman of sorts. Story 26. Thank you for giving everyone here an opportunity to see themselves as special. There are some who go through life never really knowing what that feeling is, the feeling of self-worth. I, for one, am thankful that you took the time out of your day to say this. You are special. Story 27. You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else. We are all part of the same compost heap. We are the all-singing, all-dancing waste of the world. Story 28. Just got told this last week. For the first time in some 8 years. Well, the first time it was sincere and not sarcastic. It has been said here on Reddit a few times in posts like this, but those don't count. I appreciate the sentiment though. Story 29. Surprisingly, yesterday I made a friend here recently who truly does tell me such things with such sincerity I believe them for a time. Above all the other issues in my head, she truly does bring clarity. I had never found someone to talk to who could clear out any of my mental clutter, let alone blow a big hole in the heap with a single phrase. Story 30. The only time I am commended for anything is when I have just finished doing something for someone. I tend to get taken advantage of because I am a kind person who can typically handle quite a few things, but it does not take long for me to get labeled as selfish or burdensome when I need help. Couple that with a dose of depression, and you have a good mixture that turns into a mental breakdown, and nobody really cares. Even if they did, what could they do? I do not know why I decided to put this here, but there it is. I am not looking for sympathy. I guess I just needed it out of my brain. Story 31. A female acquaintance said that I have a very genuine smile a couple of weeks ago. It's been a while since someone has said something so nice to me. Felt great. Story 32. I get told I am special all the time, but I don't think it is the kind of special you are asking about. I more so get called helmet in the house special. Story 33. My friends give me some compliments sometimes, but I haven't really been told anything too nice, except for when I was going to harm myself and a friend listed some nice things about me. It's easy to feel worthless when you're never told anything positive about yourself. Story 34. My supervisor and boss acknowledge my hard work and they tell me I'm great. My sergeant tells me good job when I do push-ups. And sometimes my friends compliment my hair. Just the little things that make me feel special. Story 35. I make an effort to make my husband feel loved and tell him how glad I am to have him every day. One time he said he felt like I was just using him for something. I cried so much because I would never want him to feel like I'm just with him for some superficial reasons. He's the best and kindest person I know, and I hope he understands how special he is to me. Story 36. Never. I cannot say I've been complimented much outside of being told I have nice hair and that I'm handsome, and even then it's really only from people I've been in a relationship with. I realize that's more fortunate than most other men, even though by other standards it's likely still on the lower end. I'll take my luck where I can. Story 37. You are special. I am proud of you. I believe in you. These must be phrases in a different language other than English since I have never heard them before. Story 38. Never. Positive reinforcement. None. Parents, tell your children you love them unconditionally. Make them understand there are consequences for actions, but love will never waver. Self-worth will serve them well when you are not around. Story 39. In 2006, I traveled from my college far away from my hometown to visit my mom in the hospital. She had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. She lost 20 kilograms of body mass after some therapy. We did not have money to support her treatment any longer. Her condition deteriorated, and she was admitted one final time to the hospital. She touched her hand on my head and murmured in my mother tongue, "Don't feel sad. You are strong. You are sweet. You are special." It was the last time I was told I am special. The last time I felt I am loved. Story 40. When I built a prop arc reactor, I finished it at about 2 a.m., and without even thinking, I turned it on at point-blank range to my face. I put 5 3.4-volt LEDs in that device, and my roommate found me blind and blinking away. Their shapes burned into my vision. That's when he called me special.